How to increase drive and motivation. Have you asked yourself this? Like, how do you increase your drive and motivation? Well, today I'm going to talk about this and some points you can use to really increase your drive and motivation. So, thank you for joining me today. I really wanted to talk about this because I've had times where I was like, I don't want to get out of bed. Life's boring, life's hard, life's exhausting, and all that kind of negative self-talk. Maybe you've experienced it as well. And then it's like, how do I get more drive? How do I get motivation? Like, I see these videos on YouTube, but I'm just not following them. And I've reflected on my life. Like, I remember 2017, beautiful year for me. And I was feeling really energetic. I was excited to get up a lot of the year and had all these opportunities showing up. And then, like, at times in 2020, life got a bit dull, and 2021. Like, it got exciting at times, like when I went to Tony Robbins' event for the first time. But at the times I woke up, it got very dull and very boring. And then I can remember, like, 2022 and 2023 were growth years, you could call them, challenges. And it's amazing I say that now because I was in such a bad place, and I'm just like happy with like how much growth I came through those, even with the work I'd done before it. But like, I would be like, I don't want to get out of bed. I just feel so down. I feel so exhausted. I was like, what's the point? You know, I wasn't gonna end anything, just to be very transparent, but it was, I just didn't see the point in some of those moments. And if you're in that place, you know, I want to send a lot of love to you because I've certainly been there. And that's why I create content like this, to just really share where I've come through. And yeah, there are just some things I've noticed, because I believe we can always learn from our patterns when things are good and energizing our life, and sometimes not. Now, sometimes, of course, life circumstances come in and it can really knock us off. Like, you know, someone suddenly leaves a marriage for many years, like, it's gonna impact both people probably in that party, right? Get fired from your job, that's always going to be hard. Your business goes under, that's always going to be hard, right? Just suddenly something can come in, like, life's uncertain. Just let's be honest about it, right? Now you can plan and, you know, just have certainty in yourself, of course. But it's like, I believe there's a lot that I put into habits and the intentions and things I do that make a massive difference on my drive and motivation, which is completely in my control, which is really powerful, because sometimes the outside, well, all the time, the outside result is not in our control, right? There are any energy drainers and energy gainers. I like that term. I only just made it up. That's really cool. Hope you liked it as well. But anyway, I think there's things in life which drain our energy and things that get us to more energy, gain more energy, right? So maybe you're in that place where you've got a lack of drive or motivation and you just don't like it, you're just miserable, and it's like, no more, not another day, I need to change it. Now, I want to really share what's personally worked for me today to really improve my drive and motivation. It's not just like I'm going to watch YouTube videos all day and suddenly motivate myself. There's a bit more to it than that. So let's go into this, right? The first one is, get honest on what you like doing, right? Unfortunately, you will have to do some things you don't particularly like, but get more honest on the things you like doing and how you can build that into things that are more challenging. What is fun? What is enjoyable? How can you bring more of that, cultivate more of that into your life? Like, if you enjoy being creative, how can you get more of that into your life? Like, maybe you don't like finances. I love finances. I don't know what, weird, but like, I didn't at first, but I got creative by making sort of documents and things to really help me understand. There's things in jobs I found it really boring and dull to understand the information, but I got creative and started making like presentations for myself. So what do you like doing? What is really enjoyable for you, or reasonably enjoyable? So start using more of that, because that's really going to increase your drive when you get honest with that. If you fill your life with a load of things that you think you have to do or should do, now there are some things that, you know, you need to do, like pay the bills, and no one's always terribly excited by that. But like, you know, there are responsibilities, of course. But if you fill your days with all the things are exhausting that you don't necessarily always have to do just because you think you should do them, then that's going to be exhausting and that's not going to give you much drive and motivation. So list down all the things you like doing genuinely. I made that in a previous episode. And then start reducing the things you don't like doing. Okay. The second one is find your best time of day for working. Right. There's a lot of noise about like you need to be at the 5 a.m. club, you need to get up at like 4 a.m. like The Rock, or you need to have a 2 hour routine. Oh no, you should only have a 15-minute routine. It's like there's all these controversial things. Find what works for you. It'd be my personal view. Like I quite like working into the night, and then sometimes I like getting up in the morning. But if I'm like getting to a point of like 5-6 hours sleep, I'm like, I need to change this, right? I'm like, I cannot function on this lack of sleep. So maybe the next day I have more sleep and I plan the next day out accordingly. So find the time for you that you really work best. I know, and for me, it's before midday. I am terrible in terms of productivity and focus between 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. Right? It just goes. I kind of wake up in the evening and then I'm usually pretty good until like midday. Right? So find the best for you. The third one is have breaks in your day. Schedule the breaks. Schedule breaks in your days so that you're not just constantly grinding, working. Because when you have break, that's going to have something to look forward to. So even if it's just like 15 minutes sitting in silence, I would suggest try not to be too much on your phone because that's going to mentally exhaust you as well by all the information that's there. But like maybe just sitting in silence, relaxing, listening to some gentle music, just scheduling breaks in your day as well, because that's going to keep more drive by being able to reset as well. The fourth point, model your own success. And what I mean by that is this. Think about something where you're just driven to do it, or you have been driven to do it and you just did it. What can you learn from that? What were your beliefs about that? How did you approach that? So maybe it's like you were really driven to pass like an exam, or your car, what's your driving test? Where does I go with that? Your driving test. I completely forgot the words, right? So your driving tests, and it's like you were really driven to do that. Right? No pun intended there, right? So, even though there was, but anyway, so you were like, I want to get out there, I want to be driving around, and I want to like see my friends, I want to like impress the girls or the guys or whatever gender, and then you're like, right, I need to really do this. You had a drive, you had like a real why behind it, which is cool. Like it's your why, and it's like, what did you do? You kept showing up, and the more you showed up, the more drive and motivation you got, right? So use that for something that's going on now, right? And then if it's like you don't really have a why behind something, it's like, do you even want it, right? So use your own success and model it for something else in your life. Then the final one I want to share with you is anchor in the state. Anchor in the state of certainty, of drive, of motivation. Tony Robbins is brilliant about talking about this. I just finished his event, Time to Rise. I actually need to watch a replay on day 3. Well, it might be down by now, but oh well. But I've been to multiple events on Tony Robbins, like his Mastery University, his UPW, all these kind of things. I've invested a lot in him over the years, and it's totally worth it. I don't follow him as much. I'm following other people, but one thing that he always taught me is build state into yourself. You can train your state. You can train yourself to be miserable. You can train and a lot of times we can be unconscious of that, but you can also train yourself to be happy, to be energetic. Now, the role of food and nutrition is a massive impact on that as well. But like, you can train your state by getting up, being happy, listening to music. That's what he does in his event. So if you want more drive and motivation, condition it. Schedule throughout the day, like at least 3 times for 5 minutes to listen to some music and go, yes, 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 I'm excited. Like I used to do it without even realizing, and people were like, oh, you're so happy. And I like listening to music and dancing to it, even though I'm not that great a dancer. But I used to just do it and I didn't even realize that's why I had such a good mood. And then I went into some challenging places and I just forgot about it. And I was like, really need to bring this back. So that's a really powerful one as well. Okay, so that's what I got for you today in terms of how you can increase your drive and motivation. Let's recap the points just one more time. So, number one, being very honest on what you like. If you bombarding yourself constantly with things you don't like, then it's going to be exhausting. Yes, there's some things you're not particularly going to be fond of, but make them fun, right? The second, there's a great phrase on that I'll share as well that Peter Sage once taught me. He said, if it's not fun, don't do it. And if you have to do it, make it fun. So remember that. The second one, find your best times of day of working. Like what works for you? Like, is it late in the morning or late in the evening? Could be late in the morning. Or is it in the morning? All right. Or is it in the afternoon? The third thing, have breaks, schedule breaks in your day, because if you're just working all the time, you're going to be exhausted. The fourth one, model your own success. There's areas where you've had drive and motivation. What can you learn from that to apply it to other areas? And then the fifth one is anchoring regularly. Get up, listen to music, smile, even if you don't feel like it, to condition that feeling of certainty of drive and motivation. So thank you so much for being with me today. I really appreciate you for being here. And remember to lead with your heart and not with fear.